Hello everybody and welcome to a first look at the new Terry tool for Total War Warhammer. This is basically a map editing tool that allows you to create your own kind of land battles and add them into custom and multiplayer. Even play them with other people who haven't downloaded it, so it's pretty cool and it comes with a lot of functionality. So I thought I would just show it off and just some of the power behind it. It's going to be a fairly lax video. I'm just going to really fire up the tool and show you what I've made just so far in a few hours. And I really can't wait to see what other people get their hands on, because I'm not that creatively inclined when it comes to this stuff. I've made a couple of maps before in other games, but it does take a very long time and I haven't had much time to play around with it. Right, so if you fire up your Steam, my Steam might look a little bit different. I'm using a Steam skin called Metro for Steam. It's really cool. You should check it out. I'll put a link in the description. Basically, hover over Library, go down to Tools. You'll see the Assembly Kit Beta is there. If you go into then Properties, and you go to betas, you can then enter your code that will get you into the beta of this, and then this will become available, Cascade 2. As soon as you then click it from the drop down, your assembly kit beta will update. After, I think at the end of the month when Bretonia comes out, basically you won't need to do this step, it'll just be there automatically. But for now, if you want to try it right now, you can just do that. So skip this step if Bretonia is already available. Right, so then we just double click it, it'll say play tweak, the database editor. And then inside Tweak we have plugins and Terry. So Terry is the name of the battle map editor that we have available. So here we go, it's fired up. Now I'm not going to take you through, maybe if people want me to do a how to make a map, I can take you through every single step. I really just want to take you through some of the features it's got, because I genuinely believe it's quite cool. And I want to support modding tools. The more we support modding tools and show everybody that we're supporting it, the better chance, we get better modding tools later down the line. So everyone should support this and make maps, and hopefully, we get more stuff later. So I have my first map. I've got a new one called Empire Forest Path, which is just one I've been working on at the moment, so we'll open this one up. And there we go. So it's a pretty standard looking map. Basically, this is the light, kind of cool active world view, but this is the kind of editing view, I guess. So this is your basic tile, and we can go around here. The controls are a bit weird compared to standard Total War controls, but it does the job basically with everything you need to do. If we select this world view, we get to just have a look at kind of what it looks like in game. The environments may change based on what's going on. We can change the environment kind of here a little bit, the kind of what goes on in the distant background. That's kind of chosen by the vista, and then we can give it different names and max players and all that stuff. So that's pretty cool. So some of the first things I thought I would show is, so obviously the first obvious thing is terrain height painting. So this is also known as terraforming. We can change the height of the terrain, pretty standard stuff. It's very like Photoshop. If we use our kind of square brackets, we can actually increase and decrease the height. So what you have here is a different layering system. So we'll close that, we don't need to see that. So this is our height. Right now I've got base, this is the base layer, and then extras. Now I can create these, you just create a new layer, whatever. And then basically, we can start painting, so we can start like messing up the terrain completely. Let's see, well, let's pull this out just a little bit. So we mess up the terrain completely, we're on the absolute value, so we're hitting the absolute value of 7. We could just go and add value, if we want to just add. If we want to really make it go crazy, I think down here in hardness, we can tweak that up. Well, maybe, or even height, sorry. And there we go. So it gets pretty crazy pretty fast. If we're like, oh, we don't want to do that, we could just simply undo it, undo it again. And if we have this is kind of an interesting like little hill or whatever, we can just hide that layer. So this is actually a layer, just like in Photoshop or video layering systems and things like that. You just toggle it on and off. So it's like, oh, I can do a little test, mess around with a couple hills and things like that, see if it's working for me, maybe even play it out. And if I'm like, no, you know what, I want to keep what I had at the bottom, we'll stick that out. No, I made this base layer, even though it's just kind of like rolling hills or whatever. It's I made that. It wasn't just auto-generated, and I made this little dip here, and I added in water. And basically, when the map gets processed, it'll automatically then fill in, the terrain type. Troops that walk over it will know that it's water, and it'll slow them down. If we look at the map from the top-down view, basically, let's go into editor view. So, this is the kind of whole area I could have built the map out of. Once you see it in game, you'll realize how big this actually is. On the blue zone, this is your blue deployment zone, and your red deployment zone. I actually think is a fairly balanced map for multiplayer, if you were to think about it. So one person starts here, the other starts here, and they can take this kind of road. The road doesn't actually speed you up. I thought it does, but I guess not in this game. But it is a quick way through the forest on this side, or you can take this other way, which is just basically 2 hills separated by a shallow lake. So each side can get up to the other hill and start firing on each other, but if they want to cross it, it might be a bit slow in the center. I think that's kind of cool. So I was kind of going for like a very simple multiplayer style map. It's obviously very, very bare bones. Took me literally, I'd say maybe 2 hours to make this in total. And this is learning the tool as well as making it. Then I was trying to get a little bit creative and put down some props over here. So the next thing I'll show is just terrain painting very quickly. Similar to, adding and subtracting the height map. You can just go into texture, create a new layer. I think there's 8 layers that you can play around with. I have a forest layer, so here we can turn on and off the forest. At least the layer, and then after a while the trees will go away and things like that, or we can paint down our own trees individually if you like as well. Then I've got my roads layer, my road with actually an underlayer instead of overlay, mud, the bounds is what I was using to remember the playable area, that was just for me, and then another kind of base grass layer. So it's pretty cool, you can really mess around with it. I was able to then create this like little bit more detailed two little houses and a kind of little pathway. This is maybe where they used to work, and then if it's collapsed and they've abandoned the place, and there's, even if you really zoom all the way in, there's like even like flies and things like that going around. So you can really get down into the nitty gritty what you want to place around, which is pretty nice. Let's move this over to the side. We don't really need to see that as much. The other things we've got are, if you want to play against the AI, you can pop down AI hints. This is basically to tell the AI, hey, this is a hill. You should probably look to go to this hill. So you can select defensive hill, deployment line, reinforcement lines, and defender lines. I'm not even 100% sure what they all do. No-go regions is basically this red line around here. I set that up there. That means like, nope, you're not allowed to walk through this. If I didn't put that down, they could just walk through that building. So yeah, I'm interested to see what people do. People might put down well, let's even just for an example, put down another big ruin here. So if we go to buildings, these are all the buildings that are available. This is just, let's say, just inside Empire. We've got all this stuff. Let's go for rural. And if we select that, so this is, you can see that's the rural buildings I used over there. If we just have a quick look, scroll through them, that's just a couple. And then we got these massive ones as well. And the cool thing is, like, you can obviously just put it down, just move it around wherever you want. Rotate it. You can even do all that before you even put it down, really, if you wanted to. You could just be like, hey, what's going on? Or be like, I want tiny statues, little tiny man-sized statues, and you can have like a golden army of Sigmars. Something like that. So yeah, it's kind of, it's a really powerful editor, and I hope people go crazy with it. I want to see some really cool maps. Now the interesting thing is, this all works in multiplayer, right? So, and it's dead simple. You click this button, and you're like, hey, what's the name of your map, blah, 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 how many players do you want to have on it, max? And you select all that, and then it'll literally just open up the game launcher, which I'll show in just a quick second, and it'll launch in game. So I guess we'll get to that in a quick second as well. So let's put down a big ruin, maybe here. There's a bit of an open gap here. Maybe we should put down a bit of a ruin to get in the way. By the way, this is a scale guy. For scale, that's the size of one troop. So we're talking big map, okay? This is actually quite big. It's hard to really see how big it is until you do that. That's why I didn't even use the full bands, but you can use the full bands if you want. So let's see, what would we want to put down? Empire landscape, no. Props, infield walls, buildings, greenskin, houses. Wow, that's really small. So another thing is, you're just going to get lost in here looking at all the different things you can use. Like some of them are really small, different like carts and stuff for details. Some of them are a bit bigger. For runes, so we've got some runes here again. Let's see, look at this one. This is massive. We could just, that's kind of a it's actually not even that big. Oh, I'm scaling everything down right now, no wonder everything's small. So this is one standard scale, so yeah, that's big. These are cool as well. Units, these are, yeah, reference groups of units, so that's pretty cool. You can just see like, oh, this is the size of an Iraq rock, see if you can get through certain areas. You could do something really clever where maybe you have a funnel and like even big units maybe can't get through and something like that. I don't know, might not work, but it's cool to play around with it. Right, so I'll just pick something just so we have something down. This should be something crazy, like let's put in tower. So the cool thing is just there's a function, search function. There's the ruins tower that we use over there. There's another one. Maybe there's a better one there's a watchtower here in the greenskins. Oh, it's actually, is that a siege tower? No, it's just a watchtower. A vampiric tower that's just floating out in the distance. That's obviously one of those ones from siege battles. That's pretty cool. What we can do is just put that down. This would be actually nice, right? So we've got this. Let's sink it down into the ground to about here. Now it looks like it's actually, it was like some sort of, I don't know, something. Anyway, that's just built there. And then to make it kind of fit within the world a little bit, even though this doesn't really go with my theme, we could go into a new texture layer, add a layer, vampire. So we've added a new layer. Let's say we want to put down, there isn't that many actual types that you can mess with really, but we can go with mud 1 maybe. Increase our brush and just kind of like paint around it to make it look like it's been here for a while, and I don't know, it's kind of part of the world. And maybe mud 2 on top of it. The other thing is, yeah, maybe turn the hardness down or just play with these settings around until you get something right. I'm no artist, obviously, don't have those skills. But generally speaking, it kind of looks like it's meant to be there a little bit more. I've kind of botched it on one side a bit. But yeah, to prevent you guys just watching me for ages doing this, it's probably just best that we carry on. I would honestly, I just get involved in this for so long. I just find this kind of thing so cool. I made a Company of Heroes 2 map before, and I think I made a video on that as well. And I'll definitely be making maps because I just have fun with it. It's just like a lot of fun to play mini artists for a day or two, whatever. So what we need to do for this, we need to add a no-go region. We don't want people walking through it. So let's just make a really tight one. So just pretty simple. You just go around and around and around. It's kind of like a polygon tool. And tighten it there, tighten it here, and lock. Okay, so that's a new no-go region. You can't walk through that, and that'll be in the battle map. And when we go to our lighting, that's kind of what it looks like. Just pretty standard, just thing in the middle of the map. And it might block some cover. You could see that this red bounds, this is, I think it's like collision box, maybe? It shouldn't really have a collision box. It's the thing that floats out so far away, but I guess that is probably it's a collision box, so hopefully arrows don't go through it. Right, what else? Oh, we could put some magic VFX around it. Let's say magic. Battle magic. So these are just regular VFX, but of course we can scale everything. An arrow trail, which you can see, which is pretty cool. So let's see, corpse cart, dark magic aura, entity green magic, dark magic entity. Can't even see that. Sometimes I don't even know where they're playing because they might be very specific or something, you know, that we just can't see right now, or maybe it needs to be in the world view sometimes. I don't know. So this one is pretty cool. So let's go with this. Let's scale it up. Let's say 10 might be a bit too big, but might be good. If we take off surface orientated, we should be able to just put it like, we'll just put it there for now, and we can move it inside. So this could be kind of nice to see just in the map somewhere. I don't know, a bit crazy or whatever, but this isn't actually that crazy. Considering what I've seen some people make just on QA team and stuff already. It's like, yeah, this is pretty tame. You know, there's guys that making mushroom kingdoms and stuff, and you can put like different point lights around and all sorts of stuff. So if we go point light, color scale, let's make it blue to match the kind of color. Don't quite see it yet, so let's turn this color scale up to 100. Right, starting to see it. You can see 100 was barely anything. 1000? Right. Radius. There we go. Right, something like that is pretty cool. So yeah, just put that. Maybe turn the color scale down then. Right, so it's there. It's lighting up. Nice. Little vampire shrine kind of building. Weird thing. Alright, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, then you've got your, you know, deployable areas and stuff like that. Added in pretty neat. Set the alliance ID so it's player 1 and player 2. What else can you do? There's also, I won't go too much into it, but there is vegetation placing and painting, which is pretty cool. So what you can do is, here's your list of trees, all the different types of trees with different environments, and you just kind of paint around where you want. So what you can do, I've got nothing selected here. The way this works is, you'll say like, oh, I want oak A and B and D, and if I pull this out, here's the relative probability of splashing down these things with the different bounds and separations. So now I'm spreading it down on this list. I'm spreading lots of these little things and trees and stuff. I don't know if there's a way to rotate them. There should be. I probably just can't think of it right now. But then you can also just save different presets. So I've saved spruce trees. This is my configuration for my spruce trees. There's also some stones and things in there. And yeah, well, I think I need to change the separation stuff, but that's basically what I did over here. And then I kind of painted it a forest region so that the game knows. So basically, that's Terry in a nutshell. Let's take it. I'll take you all the way through to let's seeing it in game. You know, like I said, it took me a couple hours to make this little road and the idea for it and stuff. And I think even in here, I've got like little VFX particles of tree leaves falling and things. So you can go really into the weeds with it. And I'm sure someone much more talented than me spend time making these hills look like they're natural and not like some weird, you know, I don't know, rolling hills. So let's say we've made some changes. Let's just quickly save it. Terry does have an autosave feature. I've never had it really crash on me, but just in case, I guess it's good. There's also much more you can do. Lock your camera bands, all sorts of stuff. There'll be some guides on the wiki. Hopefully I'll be able to link it if I get time. Right, so let's go export. Boom. We're calling it forest path. We'll go OK. We can see down here it's exporting right now. Might take just a minute to fire it up. But yeah, that's basically it. So I would love to see what's cool with multiplayer, like I was kind of saying, is that essentially I can go into a multiplayer game, host this battle, and other people can join it, and then my map will just transfer to them, and they won't even have to do anything. It just transfers to them, and then we can play on the map, and it takes like, I don't know, a few seconds, very quick. And then after they kind of quit the game, their map will just delete in the back end. They don't have to worry about it. I think it saves out to the app data folder, so it's just like, you know, temporary file basically that saves. Then if they want, they can go subscribe to it and they have it there forever if they do. So yeah, it's pretty exciting, you know. I just think that's really cool for multiplayer. It's like, I'm just going to be hosting games with like cool maps and hopefully like more and more balanced maps and things like that, more symmetrical style maps or evenly placed maps, and hopefully the community then vote on them and we get to see the best ones float to the top. So I'm really excited for that. So here we go. What's next? Enable your map, test your map, publish your map. So in your game you say don't show this again, but I like to keep it here anyway because you can just go open the game launcher. Let's close this down now. So here we go, game launcher's open. This is Empire Forest Path map. It overwrites it unless you rename it. And you could go rename the actual pack file in your data folder if you want, because right now it's a pretty crazy name. Right, so let's fire up the game. Cool. So yeah, this is also a kind of a live commentary. Hope you guys don't mind me not editing it. I wanted to get it out quickly. I think it's a cool concept, and hopefully people will stick with this video and just check it out. So here we go in custom battle. Obviously, it could work in multiple battle. You can see the CA tag next to all these, and then there's a little spanner tag, which isn't just for me, it's for everybody. But it's a community created by Darren McDonagh. Look at that. I'm gonna have to change the Darren Total War. Don't want people knowing my true identity. And then just it's an assembly kit map. So if we stick on large armies, random something huge, because this map is actually really big. I got the scale a little bit wrong when I first played it. And let's load in. So there you go. You can clearly see, like, this is my map. It's got the trees and the hills. It all just kind of knows. There's actually a little problem with the hill here. It's a bit too steep, and it auto-generated kind of like a I can't walk past here thing for people. We can see my awful looking tower thing in the middle, which is great. Didn't really blend it that well into the ground, but there it is in the game. This is actually like a campaign cloud VFX I've scaled up, which I quite like. You could put that down, have really misty ground and things like that. Here's all my trees. You can tell that I'm not very good at this because it does look really bare and stuff, which gives you extra, kind of makes you appreciate the maps that are in the game. You know, you kind of think like, oh, come on, like it's all flat and stuff, but they look way better than this. So yeah, I'm excited to see how people like explore the blending, and hopefully, maybe if we can even get some more. I mean, I think we pretty much have everything we need. Oh shit, there's my little man prop thing. Gotta delete him. But yeah, I think we've got pretty much everything we need. I think you can do pretty much everything in terms of land battles. So it all works. Let's see, if we hover over this area, it says forest, you know, that's good. My guys are hidden over here, so this map would be kind of cool. By the way, look at the scale of it. Isn't it massive? See, it's a really big map. Spend ages on this kind of thing. I am very tempted to see. Oh, can we not manually fire? Oh shit. Okay, let's see if we can hit this building. I'm just curious. This is a building in battles that's supposed to sit miles off in the distance. It shouldn't have any logic, but let's see if it does. Alright, well let's see if I can actually hit it first.
Take up your positions!
Do we go through? No, we don't. And it even destroyed. Holy shit. That's awesome. Didn't expect that. Because that's a floating building that sits out way in the distance. Why does it even destroy? Maybe just for the off chance that something does hit it. Ah, yeah, but you can see that the collision box is fairly big for it. A little bit too big. But, you know, that's pretty cool that it actually destroys. So things like that are cool. The AI does have hints to sit on that hill if it thinks it needs to take a defensive position. So that's good, but they're not doing it now. Because they probably feel confident. And let's see. Oh yeah, we can check my no-go regions. So let's see. Yeah, I can't like walk through this area. And if I was to go from here to say here, they find their route around, which is good. Maybe even squeeze in the middle. Yeah, sweet. That's cool. You can see even down to the smallest detail, and my little flies are there. Detail matters. And my smoke and stuff, and my broken fences. So that's basically Terry in a nutshell, guys. I mean, it's very basic level editing, but I think it's quite cool. Hopefully you guys agree, and you should definitely check it out. You never know, it kind of sucks you in. Listen to a podcast or something, turn on some cool music, and just start making a map. And it's kind of cool because it's iterative, you know. You can just put it on the workshop and just update it as it gets better and better. So I think I'll upload something like this, like, oh, my first kind of like symmetrical map, and just keep adding to it, making it, refining it, making it better. And I think that has a lot of potential. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you think you'd like to see a how-to video, I might do one where I go through the tools a bit more in depth and just tell you how to get to this stage within an hour. It might be an hour-long video or something, or I could break it up into segments on how to use the tool. I think someone should do it, and it'd be good to do in general, because there are written guides to help you, but you know, visual is always pretty good. Alright, thanks very much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the maps. You can now try it right now, and look forward to Bretonia, and I'll see you in the next one.